Kim Zolciak's teenage son, KJ Biermann, faces serious charges as family denies allegations. Graphic content warning. The following story discusses allegations of sexual assault involving minors. While explicit details have been limited, some readers may find the subject matter disturbing or upsetting. All allegations remain unproven unless established in court. A major legal controversy involving the teenage son of reality television personality Kim Zolciak and former NFL player Kroy Biermann has drawn widespread attention after the 15-year-old was taken into custody in Georgia on extremely serious criminal charges. Kroy Jagger, KJ Biermann Jr. The teenage son of the former couple has been accused of aggravated sodomy and aggravated sexual battery following allegations made by a female classmate. The accusations stem from an alleged incident earlier this year at a fitness facility in Alpharetta, Georgia. The case is particularly sensitive because both the accused and the alleged victim are minors. The allegations are serious, but they are allegations at this stage, and KJ Biermann has not been convicted of the charges. His family and attorney have strongly maintained his innocence and are challenging the accusations. According to court documents and reports about the case, authorities began investigating after the alleged victim reported an encounter that she said took place on April 23. The teenager reportedly did not immediately disclose the allegation, but later came forward after experiencing emotional distress. The allegations eventually resulted in an investigation and KJ's arrest months after the alleged incident was said to have occurred. He was taken into custody in Georgia and has since faced proceedings in the juvenile justice system. A serious case involving two teenagers, the accusations have generated enormous public interest because KJ is the son of two highly recognizable reality television figures. Kim Zolciak became a household name through reality television, while Kroy Biermann was a professional football player before becoming widely known to television audiences as part of the family's public life. For years, viewers watched portions of the family's life unfold on television and social media. KJ himself grew up largely in the public eye, making the news surrounding his arrest especially shocking to people who remember him as a young child appearing alongside his family. But despite the family's celebrity status, this is fundamentally a criminal case involving teenagers, serious accusations, and competing versions of events. The allegations against KJ are severe. At the same time, his family and legal team have argued that important evidence and circumstances support his claim of innocence. That disagreement is now at the center of what could become a closely watched juvenile court case. Because the case involves minors and allegations of sexual violence, public discussion has also raised important questions about privacy, due process, and the danger of reaching conclusions before the legal process has run its course. The allegations that led to the arrest, according to reports based on court documents, the investigation centered on an alleged encounter between KJ and a female classmate at a fitness center in Alpharetta. The young woman later reported the alleged incident to authorities. Reports say investigators examined surveillance information, witness accounts, and medical evidence as part of the investigation. A medical examination reportedly did not find male DNA associated with KJ. That fact has become a major part of the defense's public argument, although the absence of DNA does not by itself determine whether a crime did or did not occur. Investigators and courts evaluate the totality of the available evidence. The charges filed against KJ are aggravated sodomy and aggravated sexual battery, both of which are extremely serious accusations under Georgia law. The precise facts of what happened remain disputed. That distinction is crucial. An arrest and criminal charge are accusations, not proof of guilt. Prosecutors would ultimately bear the burden of proving any criminal allegations through the legal process, while KJ has the right to defend himself against the accusations. Kim Zolciak speaks out as news of her son's arrest spread. Kim Zolciak publicly defended her teenage son and described the allegations and the situation surrounding his arrest as deeply troubling. Zolciak has insisted that her son denies the accusations. According to reports, she and the family's representatives have pointed to evidence they believe supports KJ's innocence, including the lack of male DNA found during the medical examination and a voluntary polygraph examination that they say KJ passed. The family has also raised questions about the credibility and circumstances surrounding the accusations. Those claims represent the defense's position and would need to be tested through the legal process. Zolciak's response reflects the extraordinarily difficult position facing the family. On one hand, her son is accused of crimes that could carry serious consequences. On the other, she says she believes completely in his innocence and has publicly called for people not to rush to judgment. Her public defense of KJ has already become one of the most discussed aspects of the story. The reality television personality has argued that her son deserves the same presumption of innocence and legal protections afforded to anyone accused of a crime. KJ's attorney maintains his innocence. KJ's legal team has also forcefully rejected the allegations. His attorney has maintained that the teenager is innocent and has criticized the circumstances surrounding the case and his detention. The defense has emphasized the evidence it believes is favorable to KJ, including the reported absence of DNA evidence and the family's account of the circumstances. The defense's position is clear: KJ intends to fight the charges. That means the coming court proceedings could focus heavily on the evidence gathered during the investigation, the statements made by those involved, surveillance information, and the credibility of competing accounts. Cases involving allegations of sexual assault can be legally complicated even when the people involved are adults. When the accused and alleged victim are teenagers, additional legal protections and privacy concerns can come into play. The public may want immediate answers, but the court process can take time. Evidence must be examined, lawyers must be allowed to challenge the allegations, and a judge must evaluate the case under the applicable legal standards. Until that process is completed, neither public speculation nor social media outrage can substitute for a court's determination. Held in custody, as the case moves forward, reports indicate that KJ has been held in juvenile detention while the case proceeds, with a hearing scheduled in the coming weeks. The details of juvenile proceedings can differ from adult criminal cases, and the handling of records and courtroom information may be subject to special rules designed to protect minors. The fact that KJ remains in custody has added to public concern and intensified interest in the case. For his parents, the situation comes at a time when the family has already experienced years of highly public personal turmoil. Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann's marriage and eventual separation became the subject of extensive public attention. Their ongoing family and custody issues have repeatedly made headlines, exposing disputes that would normally remain private. Now, their family is confronting a far more serious and painful situation involving their teenage son. Regardless of how the criminal case ultimately ends, the allegations alone have placed the family under an intense spotlight. A family already living in the public eye, one of the unusual elements of this story is the fact that KJ has spent much of his life connected to celebrity culture. Children of reality television stars often grow up with a level of public exposure that most young people never experience. Family milestones, birthdays, vacations, arguments, and personal struggles can all become material for public discussion. When a child later becomes involved in a criminal case, that previous public exposure can make an already difficult situation even more complicated. Thousands of people who have never met KJ now have opinions about him. Many are reacting emotionally to the seriousness of the allegations. Others are pointing to the legal principle that an accused person must be presumed innocent unless proven guilty. Both issues are important. Allegations of sexual assault must be treated seriously and investigated thoroughly. At the same time, the justice system exists to determine whether accusations can be proven, and the seriousness of an allegation does not eliminate the accused person's right to a defense. That balance is especially important in a case involving minors. Social media reacts news of the arrest spread rapidly across social media, where the reaction was immediate and intense. Some users expressed shock at the severity of the allegations and sympathy for the alleged victim. Others focused on KJ's age, noting that he is only 15 and arguing that the public should be cautious about condemning a teenager before the evidence is fully presented in court. The debate has also highlighted the dangers of social media trials. Online users often have access to only fragments of information. Court documents may contain allegations, but allegations can be challenged. Police reports can describe an investigation, but they do not replace a verdict. Statements from attorneys represent advocacy for their clients. The complete picture may not be available to the public for some time. That makes responsible reporting particularly important. KJ should not be described as guilty unless and until a court determines that he is guilty. Likewise, the allegations themselves should not be dismissed simply because the accused is young or comes from a famous family. The legal process must be allowed to examine the evidence. What happens next? The next major developments in the case will likely come through juvenile court proceedings. KJ's defense team will have the opportunity to challenge the accusations and evidence. Prosecutors will have to support the charges through the legal process. A judge will ultimately make decisions based on the applicable law and the evidence presented. Possible developments could include additional hearings, arguments over evidence, witness testimony, or negotiations regarding how the case will proceed. Because KJ is a minor, the public may not have access to every detail that would ordinarily emerge in an adult criminal case. For now, the central facts remain clear. A 15-year-old has been arrested on serious charges. A female classmate has made allegations against him. The family and his attorney strongly deny that he committed the alleged crimes, and the case has not yet reached a final resolution. A case that must be allowed to run its course. The allegations involving KJ Biermann are disturbing and serious, and they deserve a thorough investigation. But the case also serves as a reminder that accusations, arrests, and convictions are not the same thing. The alleged victim deserves to have her claims taken seriously and investigated fairly. KJ deserves the legal protections and presumption of innocence guaranteed to an accused person. Both principles can exist at the same time. As the legal proceedings continue, more information may emerge about what investigators found and how both sides plan to present their cases. Until then, the most responsible approach is to distinguish clearly between allegations and established facts. For Zolciak and Kroy Biermann, the situation represents an intensely personal crisis playing out under a public microscope. For KJ, the consequences of the case could be life-changing. And for the alleged victim, the legal proceedings could also be an emotionally difficult experience. The coming court hearings may provide greater clarity. Until a judge or court reaches a final determination, however, the accusations remain allegations, and KJ Biermann remains presumed innocent.
Adventure starts with the right gear, and it all starts at shackshop.us. From stylish women's swimsuits and premium camping tents to paddleboards, underwater drones, and dependable dinghies, we have everything you need for your next outdoor adventure. Whether you're exploring the water or relaxing on shore, gear up with quality products at unbeatable prices. Visit shackshop.us today and make every adventure